have to simply know where the switch is, right? And touch it, and the light comes on. That's all I have to know. That's all these people are trying to tell you. They're saying, you don't have to be a Krishna. You don't have to be a Buddha. You don't have to be a Jesus. All they've ever tried to do is tell you where the switch is. Touch the switch. Touch it, and the lights come on. The only thing that I have to understand, and one thing is important for me in order to make that light come on, if I am not in an understanding or in a right standing with the source of the power, when I do flip the switch, it won't come on. So I have to be in the right standing with the power. I have to pay. I have to sacrifice what comes in order to make sure that my payment goes. And the only payment that the king has ever asked, the only payment that he says, I want you to tithe. Okay? And when he says tithe, the first thing that they do is they go for your credit card, go for your wallet. When he says tithe, he's not interested in money. When he says tithe, he says, the left side of your brain is 10%. That's your side. You give me that, and I'll show you where the switch is. You give me that, and I'll show you where the switch is, and when you touch that switch, the power will come on. Give him the 10%, the left side, your meditation, and he'll show you where the switch is. And then the Christ becomes you. The consoling words that you may walk an aisle and say some words and all of that kind of a stuff, and that eternity's going to come, that's going to be very consoling, but it's not biblical. It says in Romans 10:9, and then I'm finished. I didn't realize I was going on so long. It says in Romans 10:9, Jesus, it says, if you confess Jesus Christ is Lord and believe that God raised him from the dead, you'll be saved. Let me ask you a question. If you confess Jesus Christ as Lord, that means, okay, you'll be saved. I grant you that. I believe in it. But what does confessing Jesus Christ as Lord mean? It means you do what he says. And what did he say to do? Practice the single eye. Take no thought. Cast your net to the right side. Seek within yourself for the kingdom of God. If you're doing that, then Jesus Christ is your Lord, and then you will be saved. I always get a kick out of that because they say, Nicodemus comes walking up the street and said, hey, listen, what do I got to do? What did Jesus say? You got to be born again. He saw him walking up with all of his Bibles. Nicodemus had Bibles big enough to choke a mule, had all of his doctrines and all of his rules and all of his religious stuff. And Jesus Christ looked at him and he says, what do I have to do? And Jesus Christ says, you got to be born again, pal. There's no way. Until you get rid of all of this stuff, until you take everything which is priceless, everything which is so precious to you, and walk into your bathroom and do the holy thing, flush it. Until you're willing to do that, you'll never understand, because you've got to come as a child. None of the things that you've ever learned before will mean one thing when you come with it to nothingness. So Jesus said, you got to be born again. Could he have accepted Jesus Christ as Lord? How would it be possible? Jesus said, of my own self, I can do nothing. Could he have believed that Jesus was raised from the dead? He wasn't dead yet. And yet Jesus said, you must be born again. And then Shakyamuni Buddha came along and said, yes, you must be born again and again and again and again. And one day in your incarnation of life, you'll come to a place like this and you'll sit. And you'll either say, this guy is a grade A fruitcake, and then you'll go be born again until you find one that's not a fruitcake, and then you'll find it. You'll find that light. You'll find that source of power. You'll find that switch, and within yourself you'll touch that switch, and the light will come on, and you'll be free. Free of all of the religions, free of all the doctrines, free of all the clubs and the organizations, not to follow anybody, but to follow that light which is within you. To be an individual, not to be a collective consciousness, to be an individual and to find your way is the most precious thing in the world. And that's why I feel good here, because there is nobody that belongs, there is nobody that follows me, there is nobody that has to agree with me. I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking you to believe anything. I'm simply asking you to find within yourself that holy place, to deeply find within yourself whichever way you want to do it. I had a lady come in here, was a Catholic lady one night, and the lights went down in meditation. She says, oh, I could see she was scared. I says, you know, you're fighting. Well, I'm only here with my kids, you know, and I don't know. I said, what are you Catholic? She says, yes. I said, do you have rosary beads? She says, yeah. I says, take them out. And she took them out. She felt so much better. I don't care what you do. You can stand on your head. You can do whatever you want. You can put crystals in your nose, whatever you want to do. It doesn't make any difference. You do what you want to do. It isn't wrong as long as you're finding that deep, holy place within yourself. And then you find the Christ. And then you find what that means. It means that you are the Christ. And the Apostle Paul put it this way. It is no longer I who live. It is Christ who lives within me. I have the mind of Christ. If he said it, you can say it. And that fulfills exactly what Jesus tried to get through.